What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Pedal Down 4x4. And on today's episode, it's a little bit of a filler episode. We're going to put in this steering wheel out of a MR2 into the 4runner. Let's get into it. All right, you guys, welcome back to Pedal Down 4x4. And this is a little bit of a filler episode here as I'm trying to figure out what to record on the 4runner for the next episode. And I remembered I did buy this steering wheel a little while ago. Now, I believe this steering wheel is out of an MR2. It's either out of an MR2 or a RAV4 or a Corolla S. One of them, but you can take a look at it right there. It's a lot cleaner than the other steering wheel, and we also have controls right here for, it says down and down. I'm not sure what that's for on the original car, but I'm sure we could wire this up. Oh, there's actually up and down. So I think this might be a maybe for steering wheel controls for your, like your volume on your radio or something like that. We're gonna repurpose those maybe to get into some lighting or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure we'll be able to figure that out. But we're gonna try and fit this. I think this would fit in the 4runner. If not, you're never gonna see this episode. You probably will. It'll just be a fail episode. But we need to get the old steering wheel out of the 4runner. The battery is dead, so I'm not really too worried. And if the airbag does blow up, you might not see a video for a little while. So, off my best judgment, I am gonna take it off with the battery connected. Do not do this at home, but I'm going to because I'm an idiot. And this steering wheel looks cool. It's a lot better. It's a lot more sleek. And my steering wheel is shot. So let's get into it. All right, so we need to open up the front door, which I locked the front but not the back. Oh, would you look at that? That's lovely. All right, so I guess I'm gonna have to. Can I roll this guy forward? Let's see if you guys can see me struggle for a little bit. I'm gonna try and roll this guy forward because the battery's dead. I really don't want to roll this right into my car. Right about there. Okay. All right, good stuff. Okay, so this is the steering wheel that's in the 3rd gen 4runner right now. Now, there are a couple little tabs on each side. We need to disconnect the airbag. I'm gonna pop those open. It looks like it's a little bit of a star bit action we got going on. So, all right, so I found a screwdriver with the star bit at the end of it, so this should fit. The airbag should be disconnected now. Now, this part is the very dangerous part. I am very terrified right now because my battery is not disconnected. This is a very stupid decision, and I may regret this, but we're gonna just send it. Okay, put that over there. Oh, all right. So that airbag, if you don't know, there's a little explosive charge in there. That's what deploys your airbag out. Now, you're supposed to disconnect your battery. I didn't. My battery's been dead for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick this thing up and I'm gonna put it on the side. All right, so I have the airbag right here. I'm just gonna put this over here. Hopefully you guys can see the steering wheel itself, but you have a thing in here called a clock spring. Now that clock spring is what allows you to turn the steering wheel and still use the modules and whatnot. So we are going to now pop this guy off. Okay. Now, it's usually a real pain in the ass to get this thing off. Yeah, it's kind of what I figured. So we might try and give this guy a little bit of a tap. We're gonna just tap it. Okay, I think that might have broke it free. Yep, came off. Make sure you don't hit it too hard for obvious reasons. Now you should be taking off these plastic panels right now. I'm trying to see if I can do it without. And would you look at that? She's mint, gentlemen, she is mint. So now let's go over to our other steering wheel and we'll see if this plug matches. If it doesn't match, then, well, we're gonna have to figure out the horn situation. But I'm pretty sure it's this red wire is the horn. And once it grounds out against here, then that's your ground. This right here is your cruise control, which would be this plug up here. So let's go take a look at the other one. We need to get that airbag off. I'm not really too scared of that one because it's been de-energized for a while. So yeah, let's go take a look at the other steering wheel. All right, you guys, so we have the other steering wheel right here. I did pull off the other two screws and it does seem like it's loose and it wants to come off, but I don't want to force this because I did pay like $150 for this steering wheel. And I don't want to scratch it up any more than it already is because it is used. So I'm going to just take off this black plastic cover off the back. And we'll see what's under its guts. See if there's any other screws. Okay. Got that. Yeah, I don't see anything that would... Oh, there we go. All right, so that is the other airbag that has been... Wait a minute. What the hell? Where's the airbag hookup for this thing? Does this thing not have an airbag in here? It looks like an airbag charge, so I'm not going to mess with it. But... Am I stupid? Is there no wires in here? Where is the... I don't know where the airbag... there's usually a cable on this thing. Against my better judgment, I really want to take this thing apart and see if there is. Because I'm looking at this right now and I don't see anything either. So... yeah, I'm not sure what's the story with this. Like, I don't know if... yeah, because there's nothing in here. Let me see something really quick. I'm going against my better... do not do this, everybody. Okay, so that's the airbag. Wait a minute. Oh, they don't have the explosive charge in this thing. I guess we can take a look at what an airbag looks like. There's supposed to be an explosive charge in this, but I guess they took it out when they went to ship it because I was kind of shocked that Japan shipped it. So there must not be a charge in this, or I'm gonna be meeting the Lord real soon. I guess we're all gonna find out together, aren't we? Let's take a look in here. Oh, did you look at that? There's nothing in it. It's just an empty airbag. Yeah, the charge has to be in there, so, okay. Well, that makes... I guess we don't have any airbags now, which is cool, I guess. So, I'm gonna just wrap this up, because then if not, you don't have a... like a thing. There's just hollow in here. Which I guess is fine, too. This doesn't really matter. I guess this would be better, though, if I have this and I smash my face against the dash. At least I'm gonna have some sort of cushion. So... you know, that's great. So let's try and hook this back into here as best as I can. And we call it le zip tie. I should go put a quick release on this. A quick release with a stock steering wheel would be kind of neat. Okay, so that's out. You need to try and fit this thing back in here. So now we have some cushion. All right, so if our face hits the steering wheel now, we'll have a little bit of cushion when we die, you know? So that's always great. So don't do that at home, by the way. Do not do what I just did. That is so sketchy. Like, I don't know if you realize how sketchy that was. Because I didn't know if there wasn't. I thought there was an airbag in here, but it looked very weird to me. And I was like, huh, it looks kind of weird. And yeah, truth be told, it doesn't have an airbag in it. So there's our empty airbag. So let's take a look at these controls. Looks like you have up, down on these ones. I'm not sure if this is a momentary switch or something in there, but let's go see if this is even going to fit over the splines on the 4runner's steering shaft. Because if it doesn't, then this whole idea went out the window. All right, so let's take a look if this is going to fit over the splines on this guy. Well, it's a little bit loose, but I think that's just because I didn't push it down all the way. But it does look like that's gonna fit. Yeah. Okay. Good deal. So that steering wheel is gonna fit in the... oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't mark the steering wheel position. Damn it. I guess we'll figure that out after. But all right, cool. So now that that is settled, I am going to take out these wires and see what these buttons do. Because if we can use these buttons for something, that's going to be great. And then we also need to figure out how to hook up the horn wire off of that steering wheel into this steering wheel. So let's go take a look. Okay, so judging off of the old steering wheel that we have here, this wire that's hooked up to this panel that gets grounded, that's for the horn. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this wire, because the rest of these wires are actually for the steering wheel controls on the 4runner. So we don't need those. So we just need this wire right here, which we're going to precisely cut it off. Now we need to ground this to a location on this steering wheel, which seems to be right here. But I'm not sure how that is gonna work. I believe technically it should be grounded to this part, because I think this is gonna ground it. I think because this is power, it gives power to this whole metal bracket, and then these little copper end bits, when it touches, that's gonna ground the circuit out and activate the horn. So I think that might be the way it works. I could be wrong, so don't kill me. Now we got that taken care of. We're gonna cut these wires off right like this, right like that. Now if I hook up this wire to here, that's gonna give me power. So that's what we're gonna do, is I think we should just depin these real quick though. Let's depin this. All right, so I got a bit of a depinning tool here. We're gonna try and depin this guy. Where is my little white tabs that need to come up? So you see this little white bracket here? That needs to pop up. Sometimes it does come out. I'm not sure on this plug. This plug is pretty old, but that's what holds it down. It's like a lock basically. So you need to get in here and pop this guy open. There's usually a little access point, but I don't see one. So I guess we're just gonna pop this whole thing open like that. See if this thing comes out. There we go. So that whole white piece comes off now. And now we need this cable so these ones all can get out of here. I guess I'll show you what I'm doing. So there's these little tabs. Okay, can you see it? There's little tabs inside of here. Now you're gonna poke your little de-pinning tool in on this like that. You're gonna insert it and push up, and when you push up, then you can pull out one of the pins. So that's all I'm doing is I'm just de-pinning this so it's a little bit cleaner. Which you have to be careful on these old harnesses because they are pretty old. Now when you're done with that, then you just take your little locks and you lock it back down into place, which I think I just put on backwards. There we go. Right there. See how that's like that? Can you see it? You see it? And you just press it down. And now that's locked. So this pin is not going to come out. So now we're going to connect this pin to this pin. That should have power. And that's going to give us power to this bracket, which when we hit this should ground it out. Yeah, I think that's how this thing works. I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong on this. I'm pretty sure that's how this thing works. Let me look at this thing again, because this is metal. And this is metal. This is going to go through there and screw onto that. Well, actually, I can actually see the gaps between them. Yeah, we should be okay. So if I hit this, then it's going to hit the stop. And that's going to ground it out. So that's going to, yeah, that's going to ground this out here. Which, if that is power, and that's going to be connected to this frame, that is now connected. We take our little torch here. Oh, there we go. Heat this guy up. Okay. So that's going to connect to that. Now we have these steering wheel control bits. The only crappy thing about this is that I don't know how we're going to make this work with the clock spring. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to just leave these disconnected. And if we do need control somehow, then I can hook these up somehow to the clock spring. But I just want to get this in and see what she looks like on the 4Runner. So let's go back in the car. Let's get it hooked up. Let's put the steering wheel in and let's take a look. Alrighty, so let's get in the car right here. Ugh. Now, like I said, I didn't check what straight was in the car. So I'm going to just look at the tires, and they're a little cocked like this, I think. Let me take a look outside. All right, so the tires are pointing a little bit to the driver's side. So we're going to just push this stuff into here, a little bit to the passenger side. Okay, just like that. Now, where is the almighty nut? Where did the almighty nut? Oh, there it is. So we're gonna get this nut, put it back in here like that. We're gonna zap that in. Okay, I think that's good. I'm all the way up against it, I think. Okay, so that should be good. This wire is obviously not going to be used anymore. However, this wire will be, because this is going to be for the horn. So I think that's going to be like that. We can just tuck that in there. The other wires are tucked in here for the up and down. So I will figure out what we can use that for. I'm going to have to figure out what the clock spring, what each one does, each pin. Once I know what the pins do, then we can actually go forward. But now let's get our fancy little Toyota airbag, not an airbag, in. Okay. Good deal. And where did our little screws go? There it is. There's one, which comes up like this. Okay, so that's tight now. So this is our new steering wheel. What do you guys think? I dig it. Horn should still work like this, and then I will figure out what we can do with these buttons. Maybe we can take the buttons out and maybe we can put in some sort of like I don't know, like air locker thing, or maybe use it for like lights. If we need lights, you just hit that and we can have lights. So that seems pretty cool. But yeah, I'll show you guys, and then that's gonna be it for this episode. All right, you guys, so check this out. That is the new steering wheel in the 4Runner. It looks so much better than the old clunky steering wheel. Now, as I said, we do have buttons on each side, and we have buttons in the back that you can't see, but we have buttons on each side. So what should I do with these buttons? Should I leave them unwired, or should I wire them up? The airbag, I mean, there's kind of an airbag in there. There's no explosive, so it's not gonna work. So that's why it's not hooked up. The horn is hooked up, so that should work when we get everything powered on. But what should I do with these buttons? I have no idea. I have 4 buttons that I can work with. I'm not sure if this is temporary buttons or momentary buttons. So yeah, that is pretty much going to be it. Steering wheel is in. Looks great. All right, you guys. So that is basically going to wrap it up for this week's episode of Pedal Down 4x4. We got in the new steering wheel in the 4Runner off of that MR2 RAV4 Corolla S, whatever it was. Now it does have those buttons on it, and they're unwired right now. I believe they are probably temporary buttons, so I'd have to turn those buttons into either on or off. So I can definitely figure out how to do that. Probably put in some new buttons and use the same switches. But let me know what you think I should do with them. Should I make maybe reverse lights? Maybe wire it to the roof so I can have the roof rack lights and just hit the buttons on the steering wheel? Let me know what you guys think. That is pretty much it for this week's episode. I can finally retire this old crunchy steering wheel and get this out of here. But till next time, and as always, thanks for watching.